Hello, Dunkirk. This is Adam Dulce with Channel 12, and I'm here today at the Chautauqua Alcohol and Substance Abuse Council in Dunkirk, and I'm here with Melanie and Kelly. They're going to tell you about the great things that they do to help the residents of Chautauqua County and right here in the city of Dunkirk as well. So, Melanie, thank you so much for having me today.
Well, thank you so much for having Kelly and I as well. We're really excited to be able to share with the community what sort of programs and services that we have to offer here in Chautauqua County, both North County as well as South County. Just to give you a little bit of background about the agency, we originally started back in 1974, and it was spearheaded by the community and the police department over in Jamestown, where there was a huge concern surrounding alcohol with the population. So this group was created, and ever since then, this organization has been started. And back in 1977 is when we actually became an official OASIS state, which is the Office of Alcohol and Substance Abuse Services. So we have been serving the community with prevention programming through the state ever since then in 1977. Just a little bit more history behind it. We have several different outreach and prevention programs, and a lot of times people confuse us with treatment. So I do like to make that clarification. We are not treatment, we're not recovery. Our goal really is to prevent any alcohol and substance abuse issues concerning youth as well as young adults, and of course all different populations, but mostly what we work with is with children in the school districts and youth agencies. So I want to also introduce Kelly Potter. So I'll let Kelly Potter tell a little bit about what she does, but she is our Hope Chautauqua Coalition Coordinator.
Thank you, Melanie. Just want to take a few minutes to kind of give an overview of the Hope Chautauqua Coalition. We serve North and South County. We are a member of we have a membership of 145 individuals, both professional and community members. We have 4 active committees right now that we work with. We're doing some great things in the community in regards to environmental strategies around safe use, safe storage, and safe disposal of prescription medications, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But we work with, our focus is youth 12 to 17 as well as young adults 18 to 25. However, we do work with their families as well as the senior adult population, because it's very, very important that all communities, all populations have the information needed. So I'll give it back to Mel, and then I'll talk in a bit.
So back to what we do. So basically what our mission is to build a safe and healthy environment by effectively educating the community on positive life choices. So when people think of a drug and alcohol agency, oftentimes people think we are just going into a school district and talking about alcohol, tobacco, marijuana, prescription drugs. But in reality, our programs are more comprehensive than that. So some of the school-based programs that we are doing in North County as well as South County, this year we are now in Dunkirk, City of Dunkirk school districts for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade classrooms. And then we have also been in other programs such as the Boys and Girls Club, the Salvation Army. We are in Fredonia Middle School. We are in the Campus and Community Children's Center. We are also looking to collaborate and partner with the Dunkirk Recreation Program with Camp Gross this summer. So there's so many different programming and collaborations that are going on within the community. And if you're not one of them and are interested, please get a hold of us, because partnering is something that we really want to do, because it's hard for us as an agency just to do something on our own. That's why partnering with other youth agencies, youth groups is really critical. So just to kind of explain some of our programs and what we do, we have a program called Too Good. And the Too Good program is one of the programs that we are using in the city of Dunkirk, as well as several school districts throughout Chautauqua County. And some of the topics that we're focusing on are self-esteem building, decision making, how can a youth cope with their anxiety, their stress, their frustrations, all of the whys of people using. So why is somebody using an alcohol or another substance? Oftentimes they don't know how to handle their stress. They don't know how to handle the dysfunction that's happening in the homes. So when we go into a school district and are working with all the children, not just individuals that are at risk, but all youth that are in there, we're trying to give them different tools, some different strategies to make sure that they are building resiliency among them. So, we work basically once a week with these classrooms, seeing an educator about 8 weeks in a row. So it's a very comprehensive program. And, research shows that if you can have a school district that provides 5 years of comprehensive evidence-based programming, then they're less likely to start using a substance. So one of our biggest goals is preventing early onset of use of alcohol and other substances. If we can prevent a youth from getting involved with using alcohol, tobacco, marijuana, prescription drugs, before their brain is fully developed, then they are less likely to start using. So oftentimes we have kids in our classrooms that say, the brain develops about when they're born. We still get kids that believe the brain is born, or when they're born, their brain's developed. Or we get kids that think it's 18 or even 21. But research is now showing that it takes about 25 to 28 years before that brain's developed. So those kids that are starting to use are 4 times more likely to get involved with a substance use problem if they start using at a young age. So some other programs that we are doing is called life skills training. So it's not the life skills that you might think of. It's not how do I write a checkbook. It's not, how do I make a grocery list. It's not those kind of life skills. It's literally the life skills to help emotional and behavioral health, because honestly, we're all struggling in some capacity, and learning how to cope with those things and learn how to deal with them in a healthy, effective way is really important. So sport is another one, alcohol literacy challenge, and those are just a few evidence-based programs. And so what I mean by that evidence-based program, because I know that can be extremely confusing, evidence-based programming is basically by the federal government. It has been proven by research and studies done with different groups that has been proven to be effective with cutting back on use as well as preventing early onset abuse. So that's really why we choose these programs, and the state actually requires us only to pick certain ones that have been proven to actually be effective. So I just want to make sure I mention some other collaborations that we are working with. In addition to the Boys and Girls Club, Salvation Army, the Campus and Community Children's Center, we are also offering programming at after-school programs here in Dunkirk. So through the 21st Century and through our opioid STR federal grant that we have, we are able to provide most of these services for free. So if your child is at home playing video games, instead, hey, let's send them to the Boys and Girls Club. Let's send them to an after-school program to see what kind of programming and information that they can get. I'm going to turn it back over to Kelly a little bit just to talk about some of the Hope Chautauqua Coalition initiatives.
Before you hand me the microphone,
Sure.
One of the things that you had said is people could reach out to you with questions and some information, and we'll ask you a couple of times while we're here today. But if somebody does want to contact your office about the services you spoke about or that are going to be spoken about, how does somebody get in touch with your office?
Okay, so we have 2 locations. We have one that's right here in Dunkirk. We are at 51 East 3rd Street, across from the diagonal from the orthopedic office. So the old Pros building where the Resource Center was. And our phone number is 366-4623. And we are open 8 to 4 o'clock in the Dunkirk location. And then our Jamestown office is at 501 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, down the road from the Jamestown Arena. That number is 664-3608. We, of course, also have our website. So our website is www.casacweb.org. And we usually put a lot of our information, any events that are happening, any trainings that we are providing the community and professionals, because we really want to increase other people's awareness as much as possible in the community. We also have social media. We know social media is big nowadays, so we are trying to dive into that world a little bit. We do have a Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram. We even have a Pinterest account that's very active. And then Hope Chautauqua Coalition has a Facebook and an Instagram page as well. So But let's say, let me just kind of talk a little bit about, before I hand it off to Kelly, I'll talk a little bit more about what we have in addition to youth. Sure. So we, of course, have our youth programs, but we also believe that the family component is so critical. Oftentimes, no matter what we can say in the classroom or working with youth, if the parents aren't getting that information at home, it's not going to be retained. So we do have 3 parenting programs that we offer, and depending on the age of your children. We have parenting for parents that have kids birth to 5-year-old, parents that have kids 5-year-old to 12. And then we also have our new program that we just purchased is all about teens. So when you're talking about teenagers and their social struggles, bullying that they're confronted with, sexting and texting and drinking and driving, and just domestic violence kind of situations with individuals that they might be dating, as well as alcohol and other substances. So those are 3 programs that people can take advantage of. We have tried to do programs in the past down here, but then we always get low participation. So we can do, if anybody is interested, even one-on-one. So if we don't have a large enough group, we can still meet one-on-one with parents if they're wanting to come in and meet with our prevention educators.
So if we have a parent who's at home and hears this and is wondering where I can turn to ask for help or ask for some guidance, the numbers, the address, the information you've just listed is a resource they could tap into.
Absolutely. And not only that for parenting, let's say you are at home and you go into your teenager's bedroom and you see a joint, you see an e-cigarette, you see alcohol, empty bottles, pill bottles, whatever it might be, and you want to just get that child to have a little bit of education and maybe even a brief screening. That's something that we can offer here, free of charge. There's no charge for that at all. So somebody comes in for a self-help referral, there's no charge whatsoever. So give us a call. We can work one-on-one with them. And if we find during our brief assessment that treatment is a better option for that individual, we will refer them on to UPMCWCA or TLC or the county clinic through the Department of Mental Hygiene. So it's kind of a nice, easy step to, it's kind of less threatening. It's not counseling. It's more prevention education. So if you think your son or daughter is using, feel free to give us a call. Not only that, but if you do have a loved one that is using and you don't know what to do, the language of addiction and substance use and chemical dependency there's so much behind it. What's inpatient, what's outpatient, what's detox, what's residential services. So if somebody comes here, we can kind of brief them on all that language. What does that mean? What's AA? What's NA? What's an open class? What's a closed class? The language is so broad, and so coming in here is kind of that one-stop shop. Sure. And explaining where all those different resources that they can tap into that are available in the community.
Now, what if we're in a position where there's a young person who's watching the show, maybe a tween or a teen, who is the child of an addict or somebody who is using? Is this an appropriate resource for those people to turn to as well?
Absolutely. That is something that we are extremely passionate about in the community. Children living in a chemically dependent home, unfortunately, is happening more and more. They say basically 1 out of every 5 children in the community are living in a chemically dependent home. And that's an alarming statistic. And we say that addiction is a family disease. It's not an individual disease. It affects everybody that's involved in that family. And, we work one-on-one with those kids, not only building their life skills, but talking to them about the 7 C's. And I don't know if you're familiar with the 7 C's, but the 7 C's is really just to let them know that we want them to take care of themselves, that they can't change, their choices that their family member is making, but they do need to take care of themselves, make better choices to be healthy for them, and just choose a healthier path for them. And I'm missing some of the 7 C's, which I always do because I don't have the paper in front of me, but that's right. But that's something that is really important for those kids to hear, because oftentimes kids blame themselves. Like, my parents' chemical dependency issue is my fault. And that's not the case. And we try to educate them on that it's a brain disease. It's a disease of the brain, but we want them to take care of themselves. So through that, we can work one-on-one, but also through our programs like Awareness Theater, which I'll talk a little bit about before I pass the mic on to Kelly. Awareness Theater was brought on back in 1985, actually, 1985 by John Blackman, and it unfortunately after he passed away, the program kind of ended. But luckily, we had two alumni students that were part of it, Sheridan Smith and Angela Heath, that have started it about a year and a half ago. It's been. So we've been working in Jamestown, and we're happy to say we're going to have a group in Dunkirk starting here soon. And we're lucky to have that, and thankful to the Youth Bureau for us funding this program this year for both Dunkirk as well as Jamestown. So we will be having awareness theater on Tuesdays, 6 to 8 o'clock at the Dunkirk High School. So the exact start date is not defined yet. There's still some paperwork that needs to be shuffled around, but as soon as that's out there, we'll put it on Facebook for everybody to share. And I think Kelly can probably share a little bit more about awareness theater and what she kind of expects to come from awareness theater. So I'll pass this over to Kelly.
Thank you, Melanie. So I'll talk a little bit about the awareness theater, because I think the one thing that with the coalition, because our focus is really 12 to 17 and then 18 to 25, that 12 to 17, it's crucial. It's crucial for our community because we have youth out there that see things that we may not see. So this youth awareness theater is going to allow kids to really have a voice, to be able to talk about, what's out there, the pressures that are out there, and so on and so forth. We're excited because with this program, it is called Youth. It's a youth empowerment program that was developed through the New Hampshire Dover Youth to Youth. And with that, it's evidence-based, like Melanie had said. So this program, it's evidence-based. We know that it's effective, and we know that any of the individuals that will be participating in it, they are going to receive, the structure and the education, and to be able to be out in the communities and into the schools. So with that said, they will be doing skits in the schools, out in the communities. They'll be developing PSAs. We're hoping that, maybe they will identify something in the community that is a concern of theirs, and they will be able to say, hey, this isn't right, and I want to make a difference in my community. So those youth would be able to go and hopefully make a policy change within their community, such as the Dover Youth, they have done a few policy changes, within their communities. So we know that there are youth out there, and for them to have a platform, to have a voice, is so important to us. So this is going to be a great opportunity for us to expand into North County to do so. So, yep.
Sorry. I just wanted to add, so we talk about drugs and alcohol, but the other piece is, too, we can talk about bullying in awareness theater. We can talk about dysfunction in the home. We can talk about how I handle my stress when I'm dealing with a frustration in schools and academics and sports and a relationship. So it's very a whole health approach. It's not just drugs and alcohol. So I wanted to share that.
Kids drive that message.
It's youth driven.
Yep, absolutely. And so in Jamestown, they've created a couple films. They're miniature, not exactly the professional kind, but they made the films, and it was really came from them. And they wanted to do something on bullying. They knew that they were dealing with bullying situations in their schools, and they wanted to figure out, how can I educate myself, but also other people in the community. So.
And, truly with CASAC and the coalition, our goal is really to have youth in the community, to have activities that divert them from, engaging in activities that are destructive, that could possibly be destructive to them. So moving forward, though, I'm going to talk a little bit about the coalition, because, like I said, we have a lot of great and exciting things that are happening right now within the community in regards to prescription disposal, the safe use, safe storage, safe disposal. With that said, in April, I have a flyer up here. In April, we have National Take Back Day. And what that does is that twice a year we do it. It's done in April and in October, and it provides the community an opportunity to dispose of any prescription drugs that they have in their household that have been sitting around, that are not of use anymore. The only thing with that is that it's prescription only, or medicines only, in pill form. Okay. They do not accept sharps and or liquid form.
So I've heard talk of how dangerous particularly opioids medication left laying around the house can be. So can you talk to that just a little bit about why the program is there and how important it really is?
So really, the program was developed based off of that, because the one thing that we forget about is what's happening in the house. So safe storage. Safe storage, we know that people leave their prescriptions out. You have youth that might live in your home, or you have youth that might come into somebody's home and there's prescriptions there. That's dangerous. It's dangerous for them to see that and to have the accessibility to it. So the safe storage piece is that we educate individuals, groups, so on and so forth, to make sure that you're storing your medicines safely in a cabinet, in a cupboard, as well as through the coalition. We do have materials available that are free to the community, which is this right here, and this is a lockbox. So an individual can come in and free of charge, they can come into either the Jamestown office or the Dunkirk office, and they can pick one of these up. The only thing that we require with that is that we have this is a little information card, and on the very bottom, it has a little brief survey. We ask them to fill out the survey in the front and in the back, and it's a tear off. They can take that off. Then they take this information with them. It has information on the take to the box, what the collaboration's about. It has our contact information on it, as well as the safe use, safe storage, and safe disposal. So
anybody in the county can come to one of your offices and pick up one of these boxes right here.
Yes, absolutely. So that would be the safe storage piece. The safe use piece is that we also, as part of this program, the safe use piece is that, we educate individuals on not sharing medications, make sure they follow the correct directions, or and to also make sure that when they're done with their prescriptions, or if they have not fulfilled that, to make sure that they dispose them properly. So that's the lead on into the next piece, which is the disposal piece. So for many years, the disposal of prescriptions, where you'd flush it down the toilet, you would, flush them down the sink, whatever. And over the years, what they found is that the disposing that was hazardous to the environment, to the water and the soil. So we were very fortunate that we are working with a company that make they're called Deterra bags, but they're disposable, that you can have in your home. These are also free, and like I said, we just request that they fill out the survey, and that's just so that we can see how many that we distribute through the community. And so with that said, we have 3 sizes. I only have the medium and the small. We also have a large. And on the back side, it will tell how many pills. So you can either have a certain amount of pills, a certain amount of liquid, and or patches. It's not all together. It's one and or the other. Very, very simple. You tear this the top part off. You fill it. You put your medicine in there. Fill it halfway with warm water. There is a charcoal component that's inside of here, and once the water hits with that charcoal and the medication, it dissolves, and what it does, it neutralizes the medicines. Once it's neutralized, it takes about 30 seconds. They request that you take about 30 seconds, and then all you have to do is seal it up, and you throw it right in your garbage.
At that point, it's safe.
It's safe, and it's not going to hurt the environment, as well as it's in your home. So it's very, very easy way for you to dispose of meds. We also do have in the county. Currently we have 6 Dropbox sites. We have one at the Jamestown Police Department, the Westfield Police Department, Fredonia Police Department, the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Department in Mayville, and then one at the Silver Creek Municipal Building. And then we have a brand new one that is going to be up and running as in the next couple days at the Lakewood Bustye Police Department. So it's great that we have that opportunity. Now, with that said, they are available to drop off any prescriptions, any type of drugs, 24/7. Yeah. Yeah, veterinarian drugs, 24/7. With the exception of Silver Creek, which is only Monday through Thursday. 9 to 2 because of it's limited hours. So and I do encourage individuals to utilize that because it's anonymous. You go in and nobody asks questions. You go in, you dump them, and you leave, and that's the end of it. So it is a great opportunity to be able to have that available to the community. So I think that I covered the majority of it. So I'm going to give us. Go ahead.
I just wanted to add the surveys are anonymous, so they're not asking any name information. It's basically.
It looks like it's literally the size of a business card.
Right.
Like check a box.
Yep. So small, medium, large, the date, location, and So
like
it's a couple questions on the back, but there's no name. Right. And the other thing, I don't know if you mentioned the places of the locations for the Take Back Days. So in Dunkirk, it's at the All-Star Ambulance location on April 28th from 10. I'm kind of looking at the sign, 10 to 2 o'clock. There's also one at the Westfield Family Physician's office, 10 to 2. It's all 10 to 2. So if you go on our Facebook page, both Hope Chautauqua as well as CASACweb.org, you'll see the other 2 locations, which is at JCPenney's in the mall, at Chautauqua Mall, and then what's the other one?
Southside Pharmacy.
Okay. Southside Pharmacy, again, 10 to 2, April 28th. And I think it's just really important because we don't really understand how often that availability and accessibility is there for youth. And once they know about these prescription drugs and just looking in somebody's cabinet, if you take a look at how much medication you have in your cabinet right now, would you be able to know exactly how many pills are in your bottle? And that's why, bringing up the lockbox, even if it's not this one, if it's another one that's locked safe, is really important because I don't know about you, but I often don't know how many pills I actually have in my medication. So having that there is really important. I want to kind of mention something else that's happening. So this month is actually Alcohol Awareness Month. So oftentimes we don't think of alcohol as a drug, but it is. It's one of our probably biggest used substance in Chautauqua County for youth. You take a look at our 12th graders from 2015-16 school year students. We surveyed about 2,124 students, and 42% of them were using alcohol in the past 30 days. So we call that pretty much regular users. And you take a look at the national statistics, it was 42.3%. So Chautauqua County was 7% higher than the national average. So that is a concern, and so that's why Alcohol Awareness Month is really critical. And so something we are doing, and I don't know if this can be seen, so I'm going to actually pull it down. We are working with youth across Chautauqua County. It's called the Sticker Shock Program. So we have actually small stickers that say this. It says, "Warning, drinking is harmful to teens because their brains are still developing." Basically, we want to keep kids above the influence. Providing alcohol to anyone under 21 is illegal, unhealthy, and unacceptable. So with that, what we're doing is having different youth groups throughout Chautauqua County that are going to be taking these stickers and putting them on cases of beer in convenience stores. So we're collaborating with Kim Carlson and A Fresh Start and the different Robo gas stations and convenience stores. We're actually going to be putting those stickers on all of the cases of beer. So, and we're doing that right around prom time and graduation time, which is unfortunately a big time where people start to allow their youth to drink. And sometimes we have adults that are providing alcohol for their children. And we really want to let that be known to our community that it's not okay. And it's not that we're trying to be the alcohol police, but we're really trying to keep our community safe. Because when you talk about alcohol and the concerns that are associated with it, emotional behavior issues, addiction as far as the abuse of alcohol, financial concerns, academic, career changes, health. And a lot of people don't realize that alcohol is a carcinogen. We know that tobacco is a carcinogen, but when we talk about alcohol as a carcinogen, oftentimes people look at me like I have, 4 eyes or something, but it is a carcinogen. Heart disease is one of the biggest concerns in Chautauqua County, our number one health concern. And alcohol is related to heart disease. The second one on there is cancer. Cancer, again, it's a carcinogen. And so we really need to be cognizant of how much somebody's using, because an adult can have a drink here or there and it's okay. But when we're talking about youth using, they're more prone to a substance use problem. So that's why we really want to make it known to the community to make sure you even lock up. When we're talking about locking up your prescription medication, lock it up. Safe use, safe storage, and safe disposal for alcohol as well. So I think that's really important for our community to be aware of.
Melanie or Kelly, anything else to add at this point? I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today about the services that CASAC offers. I don't think that CASAC is as well known in our community as it needs to be and as it certainly should be. We certainly hope that people who heard us today will take advantage of both safe storage as well as safe disposal. And again, any of these items can be picked up in Dunkirk at 51 East 3rd Street. If there are questions, they can call 366-4623. The office here is open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I was paying attention. I got that. And of course, you can visit CASAC on the web at www.casacweb.org. That's casacweb.org.
I wanted to also just let the community know that through different programs like United Way, Youth Bureau, Chautauqua Region Community Foundation, we are able to provide our programs because of all of these community resources that are available. We are only half budgeted by our state. The rest of it is fundraising and the community support that we have. And I also want to let people know we don't just work with teens. It's also we work with little ones. We work with kindergartners. We do a little puppet program with our youth, just talking to them about medication safety and how sharing your medication is not okay. It's not safe for you. And just because it tastes like grapes or cotton candy doesn't mean it's okay to take more than what it says on the back of the bottle, because it's important for them to learn even at a younger age. So I wanted to mention that too. So we work with kindergarten all the way up to college level and even working with adults. So.
Again, thank you so much. One last time, the number here at the CASAC office in Dunkirk is 366-4623. If you have any questions, concerns, or just want to know more about the services they offer, give my friends Melanie and Kelly a call. They'd be more than happy to help you out. Thank you so much for taking the time to hear from us today, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much.